Gangbusters with raiders. Gangbusters with raiders, right? Which is why we constantly have the death toll on the side. Let's make it higher. Like, why isn't it high enough, today? Like, it would make our point better if it was higher. It's fear. Like, fear really drives numbers. Fear is the thing that keeps you tuned in.
Good evening. Good morning. It doesn't matter when you're watching this. What matters is that you're here. Thank you. You guys know who Trevor Noah is, right? The incredibly unfunny replacement for the great and wonderful Jon Stewart. Now, people say he was hired because it's funny. I say he was hired as a diversity hire. Now, if you haven't heard of him, you probably saw some of him this year. One of his little monologues about the Black Lives Matter protest and George Floyd. He's very upset about the whole matter. He thinks the police are too brutal and too violent. But what if I told you it was all a lie? What if I told you that Trevor here is actually okay with police killing rioters? In today's video, we don't uncover the leftist hypocrisy of politicians. Instead, we go after the leftist hypocrisy of journalism. The Daily Show, the New York Times, Vox, and CNN. Let's get into it. Trevor Noah is your typical leftist late-night talk show host, cookie cutter, like the Jimmys. I found his videos on the riots quite annoying and insufferable. In one of them, he was saying how it was unbelievable that the Trump police was using tear gas on the rioters and the journalists who were there covering it. Just unacceptable to use tear gas. Here's the clip.
Yeah. Those videos are what's happening in America right now. Cops are just openly firing tear gas and pepper bullets and everything on journalists. I mean, I can't blame them. If I was doing the shit that the police have been doing, I wouldn't want anyone recording it either. So the police are attacking unarmed protesters, defenseless reporters. I mean, at this point, you might be wondering, is there anyone non-threatening enough that the police would not get violent with them?
Trevor, my boy, two things. First, if journalists are covering riots and they are where the rioters are and tear gas is deployed, guess what? The journalists are going to be tear gassed. Second, is that really how you feel about tear gas? Why don't we take a trip down memory lane, shall we?
Because they don't report the news well, it's sensationalism. Like Maragana, the London disaster. What? Oh, I didn't even know what was going on there. You just read the news and you're like, what? They shot them for dancing. But it wasn't. It was the police versus the miners, and they wanted money, and it was a sad situation. No one really knows what happened, but everyone has an opinion. I like this. Everyone knows what should have been done. People on the radio, people on the news. Yeah, these bloody police have gotten out of hand. They're busy shooting people, and why didn't they use rubber bullets? Why didn't they use rubber bullets and tear gas? Because those things don't work anymore. They used it the whole week, and they couldn't control people, so they had to come with ammunition.
I understand that was a comedy special, and it was 9 years ago. But if we learned anything from the cancel happy left, is that whatever you said in the past, doesn't matter how long ago, context doesn't matter. The context here is that 34 people were killed by police, but it doesn't matter. You shall be condemned for it. So, Trevor, with the powers granted to me by Christ, Yahweh, and Allah, I condemn you! I also understand that some of you may be saying, hey, wait a second, The Daily Show is not journalism, and to that I say, okay, fine. So let's talk about journalism. Following the new Georgia voting laws, which in my eyes were just fine and dandy, many companies decided to boycott the state. In fact, hundreds of CEOs of multinational companies had a meeting in order to stop voting reform in Georgia and in many states across the country. The New York Times loved this. However, they had a little bit of an issue because not all CEOs in the country joined the meeting. In response, the New York Times decided to run this article. The CEOs who didn't sign a big defense of voting rights. So, my question to you, my wonderful audience, the New York Times, is it activism or is it journalism? Comment down below, and I'll give you my opinion at the end of the video. Executive Joe and his power-hungry, slave-loving Vice President Kamala Harris have decided to explore packing the Supreme Court. How did Vox cover this? A new bill would add 4 seats to the Supreme Court. It's on! Activism or journalism? You decide. The wise man Jerry Nadler, who said that Antifa, was just a myth.
It is true. There's violence across the whole country. Do you disavow the violence from Antifa? that's happening in Portland right now? There's riots.
That's a myth.
He said that Biden isn't packing the Supreme Court. He's unpacking it, guys. Come on, man.
And some people will say we're packing the court. We're not packing it. We're unpacking it.
Now, for a real contrast between activism and journalism, we need not look further than Project Veritas, journalism exposing CNN activism. I'm going to make a full video about this, but I'll show you a little bit here. Project Veritas employee, a lady, went on Tinder, posing as a single lady, and matched with one of the directors of CNN. They went on dates, and the idiot exposed himself and CNN. Here's a little bit of that.
Charlie, is this seat taken? I'm James O'Keefe with Project Veritas. You're on camera. You're recorded. You're a technical director at CNN. You're on camera talking about the importance of getting Trump out of office without saying that's what your intent is.
This was to get Trump out of office, right? Without saying it, that's what it was, right? Look what we did. We got Trump out. I am 100% going to say it. And I 100% believe it.
That's you're on tape saying this. Well, we're investigative reporters doing a story. And I just want to ask you...
I've asked you now.
What
You're close to you, within 6 feet of me. Got your mask on.
Clearly, CNN, the most trusted name in fake news, has no interest in facts or in journalism. They only care about activism. How is it that so many of our prominent journalistic institutions have gone woke and become activists instead of being journalists who keep our government in check? I don't know, but it happened. It's sad. New York Times, CNN, Vox, most of them. It's sad. Now, if you want to see a full episode, a full video of what happened between Project Veritas and CNN, comment down below. If you don't want to see it, too bad. I'm making it anyway. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, comment, share, follow me on Twitter. See you next time.